We recently reviewed the Samsung Galaxy A56 and Nothing Phone 3A on the channel. They are excellent choices when you only have less than 2,000 ringgit to spend on a new mid-range phone. They have significant upgrades over their predecessors and they offer a lot for the money you're paying. But the question is, which one should you go for? Let's compare them. The Galaxy A56 and Nothing Phone 3A are relatively good-looking phones. The former has a minimalist and elegant look, while the Phone 3A has a futuristic transparent glass back with the signature glyph interface. Which, to be frank, it depends on which design approach you prefer, but I got to say that the Phone 3A's design has a better wow factor if you want to impress. Both phones are really nice to hold, and I love the Galaxy A56 signature bulge on the side that makes the power and volume buttons easily reachable. The Nothing Phone 3A also has its power button placed within my thumb's reach and has an extra physical button with a different texture for capturing screenshots to essential space, which I think is really useful if you want to quickly capture a screenshot and record a voice note about it. Despite being the less exciting looking device, the Galaxy A56 beats the Phone 3A in durability as it has IP67 water and dust resistance. The Phone 3A only has IP64 which can only resist dust and water splashes. They both have strong glass protection for the screens and back cover, but I will put my trust on Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the Galaxy A56. These phones have beautiful AMOLED screens with 120Hz refresh rates. The Nothing Phone 3A has a slightly larger screen at 6.77 inches and higher screen-to-body ratio with its slimmer screen bezels, giving it almost the same dimensions as the Galaxy A56, though its body is slightly thicker. But when it comes to their loudspeakers, the Nothing Phone 3A stereo speakers tend to offer slightly more punch than the Galaxy A56 speakers, which I very much prefer. Here's a speaker test, and you let me know your thoughts in the comments on which one you prefer.
Never let him get you down. Gonna make you stay just fine. 이대로 모자라지도 넘치지도 않아. Never let him get you down. Gonna make you stay just fine. 이대로 모자라지도 넘치지도 않아. 'Cause I got my collection.
The Galaxy A56 and Nothing Phone 3A are powered by the Exynos 1580 and Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processor respectively. Both phones come with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of non-expandable storage. These are very capable processors in their segments, and I don't see any significant difference in real-world performance. They launch and switch between apps effortlessly, games load really fast, while both phones are capable of pushing more frame rates with higher graphics settings. However, the Galaxy A56 gets the more impressive score in graphics benchmarks, all thanks to a more powerful AMD RDNA 3 X-Clips 540 GPU, and it is definitely the best performer that we have seen in the segment. Despite that, the Galaxy A56 and Nothing Phone 3A offers very different software experiences, which is one thing that you will want to consider over hardware specs and benchmarks. The Galaxy A56 ships with One UI 7 and is one of the most polished software experience you can get on an Android phone. There's only Samsung and Microsoft preloaded apps when you first set up the phone, which are all very usable. There's also great fun customizations that you can do to make it yours, and most importantly, Samsung promises 6 years of software and security updates, which is totally unrivaled in the segment. Although Nothing only offers 3 years of software updates and 6 years of security patches for the Phone 3A, Nothing OS feels a lot cleaner than One UI 7 and offers a very unique user interface that sets it apart from other Android phones. The dot matrix style font and widgets are really nice, which I always find it a joy to look at. The glyph interface is useful when you need to be notified of incoming notifications or interactions from some apps without looking at the screen all the time, while you get to compose your own ringtone using the Glyph Composer. With AI being the buzzword of smartphones these days, the Galaxy A56 unfortunately doesn't come with the full suite of Galaxy AI, but it still offers some essential features such as swapping faces in a group photo and translating text into different languages using Samsung Keyboard. The Phone 3A has Essential Space, which is essentially a screenshots app that lets you record a voice note when capturing a screenshot. The latest software update now lets you use it in the camera app where you can capture a photo and note down what you want to do with it. It then automatically categorizes things you've captured and reminds you what you need to do, which I think is really useful if you're the kind of forgetful person on remembering what is that screenshot about and what you want to do with the photo that you've taken. So overall, there's really no clear winner in this department, but if I were to choose, I would totally go for Nothing OS if I want some fun and potentially see some quirky features from Nothing in the near future. I have to give all the credit to Nothing when it comes to the camera department, because it is the only mid-range phone at this time to offer a completely versatile triple camera system, in which you get a 50 megapixel wide with OIS, a 50 megapixel telephoto with 2x optical zoom, and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. This is a huge advantage over the Galaxy A56 camera setup that has the same hardware as the Galaxy A55. However, don't discount the Galaxy A56 just yet because its main camera is very comparable to the Nothing Phone 3A's in terms of colors and details. They are both very capable shooters in low light, though in some cases, I prefer the color science of the Nothing Phone 3A's main camera. Nothing beats a dedicated telephoto camera when it comes to getting close to subjects and doing portraits with good details, in which the Nothing Phone 3A delivers over the Galaxy A56 that depends on digital zoom. The ultra-wide cameras take rather similar quality photos, which I think is pretty decent. The Galaxy A56 may have a lower resolution 12 megapixel front-facing camera as opposed to the Nothing Phone 3A's 32 megapixel camera, but it takes 4K 30 FPS videos, which is a lot better than the Nothing Phone 3A, which is really surprising because the Nothing Phone 3A has a pretty capable processor and a pretty high resolution camera sensor that could take 4K videos, but Nothing simply just limits it to 1080p. And if you look at the colors between these two, you can see that the Galaxy A56 definitely has better saturation and contrast as opposed to the Nothing Phone 3A's front-facing camera, which is actually a good thing if you intend to use the Galaxy A56 for vlogging, but yeah, not too much on the Nothing Phone 3A. And yeah, the Galaxy A56 front-facing camera also supports HDR video recording, a pretty rare feature that is not found on many mid-range phones. Both phones are juiced by a 5000 mAh battery that supports fast charging, up to 45 watts for the Galaxy A56 and 50 watts for the Nothing Phone 3A, which is decent although not the fastest. I find the Nothing Phone 3A to have better fast charging compatibility than the Galaxy A56 when switching between different cables and chargers. But just when I thought that both these phones had the same battery endurance, the Nothing Phone 3A surprised me with a 2-hour longer battery life than the Galaxy A56 when it comes to benchmarking at the PCMark battery life benchmark, which can be attributed to the efficiency of the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processor and Nothing software. But to be honest, these phones can easily last more than a day when used moderately in the real world. In Malaysia, the Galaxy A56 retails for 1,999 ringgit and the Nothing Phone 3A retails for 1,699 ringgit, which is a pretty significant price difference. But even if we were to benchmark the similar price Nothing Phone 3A Pro, which is the slightly higher end version of the Nothing Phone 3A with a better camera, the Phone 3A already stands out over the Galaxy A56 when it comes to design and cameras. But the Galaxy A56 is definitely a more reliable workhorse if you value Samsung's 6-year software update policy and IP67 durability. Ultimately, you can't go wrong with either one of them as they're super capable devices that gives you almost no reason to buy expensive flagship phones. So that's all for the comparison of the Galaxy A56 and Nothing Phone 3A. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on which phone do you prefer if you only have that money to spend on either one of them. So thanks for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos coming right up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.